there, it's Suzanne McLean and our amazing Numa team. So we just want to tell you thank you for joining us. I've got a lot of questions here lately of, hey, Suzanne, I got your invite to your live event. I just really do, I want to get a little more information on what you guys are going to have at the live event. So we thought, well, why not just jump on here, do a quick, kind of a quick update of what the agenda looks like, so you know what you're looking at when we talk about the live event. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Joe.
Hi there. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to try to keep this live cast quick and to the point. So first, we wanted to start out with what the live event is about. And it's titled How to Add 7 Years to Your Life Without a Gym Membership. So it's a little bit tongue in cheek, but we're bringing in Richard Leiter, who is part of the Blue Zones Project, which is a Netflix series. And in that, he's going to go through he's the actual purpose ambassador for the Blue Zones Project. So he's going to talk about adding purpose to your life, which according to Bill Boutonniere, the author of the Blue Zones Project, purpose alone can add 7 years to your life. So Suzanne and I are going to do an interview on stage at our event with Richard, and he's going to go through some of the things that you are all dealing with. Now, if you're one of our clients, then you got you got our email last week or so, and we were asking about what are some difficult things you're dealing with? What do you need help with? What keeps you up at night? That type of thing. So we took all those answers, and we appreciate everybody that responded to that. And we're building that into the interview questions for our interview with Richard. And we're going to go through some of those now. But what I wanted to start out with is I think it's important to share that, here at Numa, each one of us, our God-given mission is to help and protect you, especially when life gets complicated. And a lot of you are either getting ready to retire, you're already retired, maybe you're semi-retired, still working a job, that type of thing. So in each one of those categories, life has gotten complicated in one way or another. We hear all the time where, hey, I retired, I worked all my life, I wrapped my identity up into what I did every day, and now I'm feeling this loss, like I'm just feel kind of lost, like, where do I belong? What's my impact in life? What's my purpose? That type of thing. So that's some of the stuff that Richard's going to hit on when he's with us. So I'm going to go through some of the points here real quick. And I just wanted to also point out that our event, yeah, it's focused on our clients. But if you're not one of our clients, then you are welcome. And if you are one of our clients, we want you to bring a friend. We actually have what we're doing this year is if you come and you bring a friend, whether you're a client or you're not a client, anybody that comes and brings a friend, we're actually going to refund both of your tickets when you get there. So I think it's a great win-win. So even if all these things don't excite you, grab a friend, come to the event, enjoy the lunch, and have a great time. But some other things that we heard in the email that we sent out and the responses we got was, maybe you're going through a sickness, or your spouse is going through a sickness, or you lost a loved one, you lost a spouse, that type of thing. All very tough issues that can totally just derail your life. How do you get back on track? How do you find purpose in the day-to-day when you can't do the things you once did, or you feel like you've lost part of yourself if you lost a spouse, that type of thing. The other thing that we saw in the responses to those emails was how to deal with, like, as you age and you lose, maybe you lose some physical ability, maybe you lose your mental edge. Like, how can you stay sharp in those areas? And, my answer for everything is not pickleball, by the way, but that can help. Anyway, so we're going to talk to Richard about that. How can you still find purpose in life? How can you still wake up energized for the day when you're going through issues like that? So that one last thing here on my list that I wanted to talk about before I turn it back over to Suzanne, and she's going to go through a few others, is we also heard that, like, we feel your pain when it comes to you have maybe you've grown distant with your kids, and it's not by anybody's fault, but just over time they're busy, and you were busy with work and now you're retired and you would like to reconnect more with your kids and your grandkids. And one of the responses we got was somebody said, as a grandma, how am I supposed to compete with my grandkids' attention against TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram and all, their handheld devices? So we're going to talk about that too. And I think it's going to be exciting and we're going to make it helpful. So you're going to walk away from our event and go, yeah, here's some things that I can do that's going to help me in these categories that I'm dealing with right now. So Suzanne, let's talk about some practical things that we're also going to talk about it and help them with at the event.
Okay, so some practical things. These are some of my favorite, and these are some of them that I got so many responses with, hey, Suzanne, how can you help me with this and this and this? So, and these are the two of the top two that I'm going to talk about. The first one. So, for example, my grandpa growing up, my grandpa always had like that big VHS video camera up on his shoulder. Many of you remember. So he had that big VHS camera up on his shoulder pretty much every family event. I remember when I graduated back in 1997. I know it was a long time ago, but I remember looking up from the field and seeing my grandpa with that big video camera up on his shoulder and thinking, wow, that's so cool. Well, here's the deal. My son graduated a few years ago, and I thought to myself, I'd love to see that video. Well, he had it in a VHS tape. I don't have a VHS player, so my son could never see that. So, going back a little bit, my grandpa and grandma unfortunately have passed away. And my grandpa had tons of VHS tapes and lots of pictures, binder after binder after binder of pictures of when we were children, and I would love to have them. However, I don't have 10 bookcases like he had in his office to line all of those pictures and the VHS tapes. So, with that being said, what we've done is we've partnered with a company here locally where you and we'll tell you about it. You'll be able to take your VHS tapes or take your old photos to them. They can scan the photos. They can take the VHS tapes and put them on a device, like a little jump drive or a DVD or a CD, where this generation can now have access to them in a digital format. So I am waiting to be able to show my sons my graduation from the VHS tape that my grandpa took of us. So this one does play really close to home because it's really part of me. And I feel like there are many children out there that's maybe in my age group that would love to see this stuff, but they really have nothing to play it on. So now at the event, we are going to have a door prize where you're going to get a heavy discount for taking it to that facility and being able to get those pictures and VHS tapes transferred. So we'll talk to you more about the event. Now, the second one I want to talk about is I'm going to tell you the story. So I had a client that just called in a couple weeks ago, and I'm going to change the story a little bit just to protect the identity. But the gist of the story is, unfortunately, the spouse had passed away, and the surviving spouse called and said they took care of all the bills. They took care of our health insurance. They took care of everything, and everything was saved on their computer. Well, unfortunately, the spouse passed away. The surviving spouse was not able to get into that computer because there was a password on it. No reason that there was a password. Like, it wasn't like he was trying to keep something. It's just there's a password. And the spouse that passed away did not tell the spouse that survived the password. So what happened is the surviving spouse tried to get into the computer, tried, got online with the technical support, got on the phone. Of course, they wouldn't help, they would not let them reset that password because of security. So that really triggered a lot of things in my mind of, oh my goodness, because we got that phone call, like, about the insurance, questioning the insurance. So that happened in conjunction with my parents came to me and said a couple years ago, said, hey, Suzanne, we're updating our wills, we're updating all of our stuff. We're going to go ahead and make you the executor of our estate. And I said, no, thank you. So at that point, I mean, I was joking, but I said to my parents, I was like, I want updated wills. I want everything updated to where, like, if something happens to you, mom and dad, I'll be emotionally crushed. I don't want to have to be digging through your house to find who your homeowner insurance is with, who your auto insurance is with, where's the titles to your cars, who has your bank accounts. I don't want to deal with that. Nobody wants to deal with that when their heart is broken. So what we have done is at the event, anyone that comes to the event is going to get a booklet. In that booklet, it's going to be put together to where you'll be able to fill that out for your loved ones. You'll be able to put in the name of your insurance agent for your auto insurance. You'll be able to put in it your homeowner insurance, like contact phone numbers. You'll be able to put in it who your bank account is with. Maybe if you have an online account, what the username and what the password is, who your utility bills are through, who your credit cards are with. Maybe once again, username and password, so we can go in and check those if we ever needed to. So one thing we do have is, let me show you this nifty little, it's a fireproof, and we're going to be giving away 10 of these at the live event. Okay. Now, when you open this up, it's, like I said, it's fireproof, and it does have like a carrying case here. Anyways, when you open it up, you're able to put and store all of your personal information, credit cards, wills, passports, anything that's important, life insurance, who to contact. Has here like a folder, like a little like a flip folder where you're able to put important papers. So this to me is the best gift that you can give to maybe the executor of your estate. Or if you have parents that are still living and you're going to be the one taking care of them, let's get this in order. So unfortunately, when they pass away, you have all of their information at your fingertips. So at the event, we're going to talk about this. You're going to get a package or the little booklet with all the basically the printouts, as well as we'll be passing out as door prizes at least 10 of these. So those are the two topics that we're going to talk about. So I wanted to run those out by you. I'll turn it back over to you, Joe.
Okay, that's good stuff. And like we were talking about with like some of you that responded, like, about building a closer connection to your kids and grandkids, just like that, doing like a possible gift where you put your videos or your pictures on an electronic device and giving that to your kids, that could be a great gift for your kids and grandkids. Or maybe you sit down at your next Thanksgiving or Christmas and you watch that stuff for an hour or stuff or something like that. Like those can be fun times that can build a closer connection. And then obviously that fireproof case also has TSA locks on it. That is a great final gift that you can give anybody. So they're not hunting around. Like Suzanne said, it's an emotional time. If the loss of a spouse, the loss of, if your kids are trying to figure things out, that is a great final gift that you can give them. So I think it's really good. So last bit of notes here as we wrap this up, we mentioned also that we got Richard Leiter there. We're doing the interview with him. Suzanne, talk just for a brief minute. You're going to cover some Medicare stuff there and just talk about that for a brief minute.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the changes for Medicare. Now, here's the deal. Many of you have heard this. It's called the Inflation Reduction Act. Many of you have heard this where President Biden signed it in August of 2022. That is affecting clients on Medicare. So 2023, there were certain changes, 24, there was other changes, and then 2025, there's going to be some significant changes on the prescription drug part. So many of you know, I was in Washington, D.C. just the end of February, actually last weekend. And we were meeting with lawmakers and lobbying on Medicare. I was there telling your stories because we're always there to make things, better on your behalf. Once again, my boots on the ground. I take your stories to lawmakers, congressmen, senators, staffers, and I tell them exactly what's going on, where we should, try to improve things. with that being said, I get educated on what's going on as well in a lot of ways. So with that, going forward, is many people that have the Medicare prescription drug plans for 2025, there's going to be a shakeup on that. So we're going to talk more about that at the event. I will keep you updated with everything that I know. So there's another reason why I need to make sure you're at the event, so you'll learn more about what we got going on for 2025 on the Medicare prescription drug plans.
Right. And we're not going to bore you with a bunch of Medicare stuff there. We're only going to hit you with the important stuff. So you don't want to miss that. And then the final thing we're going to have at the event is Kathy Cairo. And as you all know, with Intel shaking up the real estate market in the Columbus, Ohio area, you're not going to want to miss that. If you have a home in the greater Columbus area, or if you're thinking about buying or selling anytime in the next 5 years, you do not want to miss her state of the market address at our event. So it's going to be great. Suzanne and I is going to have her on stage with us, interviewing her, asking her the tough questions about the real estate market. It's only $10 for a ticket. And like I said, if you buy a ticket for you and you buy a ticket for a friend, and you guys got to show up to the event, at the event, we're going to hand you your money back for the event. So you can come for absolutely free. Remember, our goal is to make this helpful for you. It's all about helping you, helping those that are close to retirement and in retirement, and every way that we can that's within our power. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Suzanne, you got the final word.
Thanks again. We look forward to seeing everybody on May the 2nd. Once again, call our office, 614-448-1834 to purchase your tickets, or you can jump online and buy the tickets. And Joe, what's that web address to buy the tickets?
We'll put it in the email, so no worries. And if you're watching this on YouTube later, we're going to post it in the first comment, but it's numedicareadvisors.com/event. So thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. I hope to see you on May 2nd.